Hi everybody, welcome back. This coop hasn't been cleaned in over 6 months. That's 15 chickens pooping in it day and night, and it doesn't have any stink. Maybe a slight earthy smell. The litter itself is light and fluffy, no clumping. That's when you know the deep litter method is working. Now, to understand why deep litter works so well, we need to look below the surface, and we also need to understand what we're up against. Deep bedding works because you're allowing the coop and the bedding to breathe. The bedding itself actually stays very loose and fluffy. This is in part because when the chickens are maintaining the system, well, they're scratching through it, they fluff it up, and they introduce air. And this air helps the microorganisms that really do most of the work to breathe. They're aerobic and they're alive. The microorganisms, they're able to clean the coop. They're able to lock away moisture and ammonia. They're able to break down waste before it starts to smell. They're able to outcompete organisms that would want to move into the coop if they weren't there. And the easiest way to know whether or not this system is working is by the smell. This system smells like pine shavings and an earthy smell, versus what a lot of people think a chicken coop does or just, should smell like, which is kind of that famous chicken funk. The main thing that causes that famous chicken smell, that funky smell, is moisture. Moisture, when it gets into a coop environment, elevates the humidity, and it causes all kinds of problems. The odor, it makes it possible for pests to thrive. It causes health problems with your chickens, with the way they breathe, with their feathers, with their feet, and on and on. It's also the primary reason your chickens might get frostbite in the winter. Humidity and cold equals frostbite. And of course, it's going to cause damage to your coop in the form of rot and other things like that. Now, moisture is introduced in two main categories: avoidable types of moisture and unavoidable types of moisture. When I'm consulting with someone about their chicken challenges that they're facing, I'm amazed how often there are ways that they're just allowing moisture into the coop. Either they're keeping a waterer inside the coop, or there's a leak and it's running down the wall. Well, these are all avoidable methods of introducing moisture into a chicken coop. Now, some of it is unavoidable. I mean, the waste does bring in moisture. Respiration, the chicken's breathing, does bring in moisture. But when it's just the natural, unavoidable types of moisture, well, a deep litter bedding system that's working properly can deal with it, no problem. So you need to make sure you've removed all of the avoidable sources of moisture from your coop. But you also need to pay attention to how air circulates in the coop. You need vents up high that allow moist air to escape from the structure. You also need a source of fresh air. In the design of my roof, the low end is actually a fresh air intake. There's also the main coop entrance for the chickens that allows fresh air in, and the future door for the brooder box. Now, eventually, you are going to get a buildup of excess moisture, often indicated by that sour chicken smell. Now, fortunately, the solution is very easy. Add more carbon. And by doing that, you will rebalance the system. I like to use a fine bedding to solve odor situations, and I'll tell you why. I use Eaton Pet and Pasture's hemp husks. It's fine, it almost looks like feed, and when you sprinkle that into the bedding, well, the chickens see it and they think, well, maybe there's feed in here also. And they will dig through it and kick it all up and aerate it. And aeration is one of the key features that keeps the deep litter bedding healthy. You have a balance of carbon, aeration, and depth. Now, I would strongly discourage you from using any strong or harsh cleaners to solve odor issues in a coop, unless you are doing a full reboot because you've had an infection or an outbreak of some sort. Otherwise, you don't want to kill the good bugs with the bad. You want those good bugs to succeed, and by them being super healthy, they push all the bad guys out. Okay, here is how I put together my deep litter system. You're going to notice a pipe system. You can see there's an exhaust stack right there. That's for a future video on an experiment that I'm running, so don't worry about that too much. But if you're curious and you want to find out about that project, well, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more info on the BioVent. Okay, so here's how I put together my deep litter system. In areas that do not have bedding to absorb the waste, I spray a bioenzyme-based odor treatment like the Coop Odor Eliminator. Starting with a clean vinyl floor, I put down a light dusting of Revitalime. Remember, not garden lime. I then put down about 3 bales of pine shavings so that I can get that 8 inches of deep litter. Next, I add another light Revitalime dusting to balance the pH and a dusting of the incredible smelling Roost Refresh. Lastly, I apply hemp bedding for the regular maintenance of adding carbon to the system. The regular upkeep of a deep litter system primarily involves adding to the system, adding more carbon. I mentioned the Eaton Pet and Pasture hemp husk. That's a really great top dressing carbon that I use. Also would recommend adding Revitalime that balances the pH. Do not use garden lime, that's a different animal altogether. But you want to balance the pH to make it a healthy environment for those healthy little microbes. And also I would strongly recommend something like Roost Refresh made by Eaton. Honestly, no coop has any business smelling as good as this coop smells. When I was doing the refresh and I was putting in the Roost Refresh dressing on the top, Cooper, my rooster, he says to me, "This place smells like a high-end gift shop in Ireland." How does he even know what that is? But he's not wrong. I can't lie. It really does smell like a high-end Irish gift shop. So there are a few design considerations that would be a good idea to keep in mind if you're going to be building a new coop. And that is having a threshold that represents the height that you want your deep bedding system to be. So this is an 8-inch threshold. But also, you want things like the doors, so the coop doors and the brooder box door, well, they're also 8 inches up off the ground, as is the nesting box, 8 inches up off the ground. That way you have basically like a tub that you can put your deep litter system into. All the bedding that you remove from your coop can then be composted and it becomes pure garden gold. Now, I should reiterate, it needs to be composted further because chickens make powerful stuff. But it is pretty satisfying to be able to take this compost, grow plants, and then feed your chickens from that compost. Now, I could say that the deep litter method is better because it's easier. It is easier. But that's not the reason I think it's better. I think it's better because of all of the additional benefits that come with having a little mini ecosystem in your coop. During the winter, the coop stays warmer, drier, and reduces the risk of your chickens getting frostbite. It also reduces just the general moisture adjacent ailments that you will get in your chickens, in their feet, in their feathers, in their combs. The reduction in pests, the reduction in odor, the amount of biomass that you get that you can use in your garden. All of these things add together for me to firmly say the deep litter method is the best way of dealing with chicken waste in a chicken coop. Now, in the comments, I desperately want to hear from you. How often do you clean your chicken coop? Do you use a poop shelf? Do you use the deep litter method? Do you use something else? I want to know. Subscribers to this channel get a discount at Eaton Pet and Pasture. Use the coupon code WineberryHill. The link is in the description. This coop hasn't been cleaned in over 6 months. What, Cooper? When would you have ever been to Ireland? To stay loose. And the microorganisms do something. They do something. Deep litter bedding. Yeah, that's what I thought. Do you have any thoughts? Any preferences? No? Okay. She's busy. Once you've removed, sounds French. High vents that allow the moist, how do you spell that? Moist. The low end of my roof is the fresh air intake. So is Cooper. In situations... Yep, I heard you. Especially Eaton Pet and Pasture's hemp husk. You know what I meant. It smells amazing when you use Eaton Pet and Pasture Roost Refresh, because words are hard. It's better because of all of the other things that it does. Here she comes. So curious. Or do you want to have your own segment? All right. Come on. Hello. I'm working here. Well, technically you're working here too. You're making eggs. We'll be with you in a moment. It's better because of all of the other fringe benefits of having a little mini ecosystem inside your coop. Things like chickens jumping up into the frame. Such a diva. Hi, beauty baby. And I also mentioned the BioVent. I'm working on a project. I'm doing some research. I have a bunch of sensors set up in the coop, and I hope to have some interesting data that I can share in a future video sort of related to this topic. So subscribe if you want to find out more about that project. As always, if you liked this video, well, you might like other videos that I've made, so check them out.